Faith leaders from all over the U.S. uniting in prayer for our nation and the president at the White House this past week, including our next guest, who says the White House's respect for religion is pretty clear.
Here with more from his visit to the West Wing is Fox News religion contributor, Father Jonathan Morris. You say it's pretty clear. How clear is it?
So I was not part of that faith leadership initiative. There was a group that I think were invited, but it happened to be the same day. I went independently, invited to meet with some of the leaders there in the West Wing. All of that content I keep completely confidential, right? But what I loved was the fact that they actually were interested in hearing not my support, my endorsement, but what I thought, and speaking what I believe to be important points about the direction of our country. And they listened.
What did you say?
Can
you give us a little?
No, I'm not. Because that's the important thing. That there has to be a good separation. I do not tell them what to do. I say this is what I think is right on this issue, this issue, and this issue, if they want to hear it from me. And what I was very impressed was that there's a sense in the White House is that we need outside input, and that's refreshing.
We don't always hear that on the outside, though. As you said, something should just stay within the White House walls. But oftentimes you have media reporting on stories. Many times we've seen about religion that they don't get it exactly right. And I think that's the problem today. They've been hit by focusing so much on religion at times. And you were there, you were behind closed doors, and you actually said, no, this is really refreshing to see happen.
You know, you think about Billy Graham, okay? He advised presidents on from both parties. And there was a respect, not only Billy Graham towards these presidents, but there was also a respect by these presidents of the independence of Billy Graham. That's why, in my opinion, faith leaders should not be endorsing candidates, should not be endorsing parties, because you don't know where they're going to go. At the same time, these parties and these candidates need input. And I think the religious aspect and the faith aspect is a part of our country that needs to be really brought into the equation.
Well, that's a great point, Father Morris, because when you go out and talk to people in America, one of the things you'll hear them talk about, why they love this administration so much, is because they feel they're not getting pushback from the administration when it comes to their religion.
Absolutely.
Yes, there is a religion war, let's say, in our country with, you know, Christmas, not being allowed to do your displays and things of that nature. But when it comes from the administration, I think that really hurt people to the core. Now, with the Trump administration, at least, they don't feel they're under that kind of attack.
Yep. I put a picture up on Facebook, on my Facebook and Twitter, right by the West Wing, and I was so impressed by people's responses saying, thank God we need, not me, but we need people in there giving advice, people in there giving another perspective. And I was so impressed also just with the fact that the administration, I'm walking through the halls and people weren't surprised, like, what are you doing here? You know, in Europe it would have been, you're in the wrong place, buddy. In the United States of America, and in this case, I think in this administration, there was an openness. There is an openness, and I love it.
Even when you accidentally wandered into the cafeteria.
Exactly.
Well, that's really good to hear that inside perspective. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Happy Sunday.